Well, if you can't take the drama, then you shouldn't even be in a relationship.
Rory Gilmore was America's sweetheart, until she wasn't. She was everything we wanted to be, from determined to studious to kind-hearted. Throughout Gilmore Girls and A Year in the Life, she steadily becomes less involved with her studies and her journalism career, and her character arc takes a downward spin.
It's her first love. It'll probably...
Yeah, I know.
In the first season of Gilmore Girls, we meet Rory as a rosy-cheeked, bright girl with an even brighter future ahead of her. But by the revival series, A Year in the Life, her character development was more or less tossed aside. We watch Rory Gilmore fall from grace. What happened? Why? The pilot episode shows her getting into a prestigious private high school, Chilton. Because of her excellent grades and writing prowess, it's clear that she's on track to accomplish her dream of becoming a renowned journalist. Although she faces some challenges, she overcomes them with relative ease, like when she gets a D grade on her first Chilton paper.
Learn from your mistakes.
And later arrives late to the test, rendering her unable to take it. She bounces back.
I was up all night studying, and then I missed my bus, so I had to drive.
By the end of the year, she ends up in the top 3% of her class. And by the end of season 3, she gets into 3 different Ivy League colleges. In season 4, Rory starts at Yale. Her first year of college is an adventure, and she learns that she can't handle the same course load that her grandfather had when he attended the prestigious school. But she still comes out strong on her path to becoming a journalist. As we watch season 5, we start to see Rory slip in a major way. She takes on an internship with Mitchum Huntzberger, a newspaper big shot.
It's very nice, but very unnecessary.
It's her first taste of the journalism industry, which exhilarates her. Although her confidence tells her she's doing a good job, hitting her stride, her world falls apart when Mitchum sits her down and tells her she doesn't have it, where it is whatever it takes to be a great journalist.
I just don't think you really have the drive to put yourself out there, to be honest.
For the first time in her life, Rory doubts her path, and she heads into a tailspin. Because of Mitchum's criticism, Rory steals a boat with her boyfriend Logan.
Let's go, Huntzberger.
Let's go.
Landing her in jail. And she eventually makes the decision to drop out of Yale. Crime and dropping out of school would have never occurred to season 1 Rory. This huge shift shows how far she has fallen from who she originally was. To season 6 Rory, leaving school makes sense. Her logic is, if she's not going to be an amazing journalist like she always planned, why go to school at all? This mentality lasts most of season 6, but she does make the decision to go back to school. She rises above Mitchum's harsh words and gets back on her path to becoming a journalist. The final season comes, and with it comes Rory's graduation from college. At first, it appears that she has no prospects. She rejects Logan's marriage proposal.
Bye, Rory.
And she has no leads on a job. Or so it seems. In the final minutes of the show, Rory gets a job following Obama's campaign trail as a political journalist. The ending of the show leads us to believe that Rory is still on her path to achieving greatness in her chosen career path.
Congratulations, that's great news.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm really excited.
Ever since Gilmore Girls ended in 2007, fans have been clamoring for more of the dynamic pair, Lorelai and Rory. Our wishes finally came true in 2016 when Netflix aired A Year in the Life, a revival series of the beloved show. There was a lot riding on this for fans, and many feel as though it did not deliver, especially on Rory's character arc. We expected to see Rory rocking the world of journalism. The revival starts off on a good note when we learn that Rory's work was published in The New Yorker. But then we find out she's rootless, as she says in the first episode, Winter.
This is my time to be rootless.
Throughout the revival, Rory tries and fails numerous times to get a desirable job that suits her. She even gets rejected from a job where she was a shoo-in. Later, when she gets a job offer at Chilton, we think that maybe she'll give up her dream and instead pursue teaching. But when she rejects that, we're led to believe that Rory is still on track to becoming a journalist. After all, that's what her story's always been about. Despite whatever challenges she faced, she's always able to overcome them so that she could one day accomplish her dream. That's one of the reasons we love Rory so much. Her consistent failure, met by none of the overcoming tenacity we see in the original series, is disheartening to watch. Matters are made worse when we're introduced to the tangled web that is her love life. Instead of having a steady boyfriend or being a strong, independent woman, she plays the other woman to her ex-boyfriend, Logan Huntzberger, a man who hasn't changed a bit since the series ended nearly 10 years earlier.
You deserve that.
I do deserve that.
It's also worth mentioning that throughout the revival, he is engaged to another woman. Watching Logan and Rory act like careless teenagers when they're in their 30s was hard to watch, to say the least. By the end of the series, we expect to see Rory in a job she loves, or maybe on her way to a job she loves. But our expectations are not met. As far as having a career go, she has more or less given up on the search. Instead, she's decided to write a book.
What?
It's a cool story. It's got a point of view, and it's something only you can write.
And she finds that the perfect place to do so will be in her grandparents' house, specifically her late grandfather's study. The book, of course, will be titled Gilmore Girls. At the very least, she's writing, and if we know anything of her skill, it will be a bestseller. If she can get it published, that is. Many fans feel that this was a cop-out and overdone in television shows. Additionally, rather than telling her mother about a new job or career prospect, she ends up telling Lorelai that she's pregnant.
Mom,
Yeah.
I'm pregnant.
We never find out who the father is because the series abruptly ends there. This sudden end and lack of information rub fans the wrong way. Thanks to the revival, it seems that Rory's potential is completely wasted. The series could have shown Rory rising above all her failures and ending up in the place where she's meant to be. But instead, it shows her gallivanting through life with her ex-boyfriend and taking life with reckless abandon. The revival is so close to exemplifying all the things we love about Rory, but instead, it backtracks on her character development, leaving us all unsatisfied.
I'm just mad about the boy.
Ah, yes.
We want to know why this all happened. First, we want to know why Rory didn't end up with the journalism job of her dreams. Second, we want to know who the father of Rory's baby is, and why the creators chose to end the revival with those 4 fateful words. According to Amy Sherman-Palladino, the show's creator, Rory's inability to get a job in the field of journalism is not a reflection of Rory or her skills. It's actually a reflection of the industry. We wanted to say that she, unfortunately, picked the exact wrong time to pick this career choice and reflect a little of what's going on in the world with journalism, said Sherman-Palladino in an interview with Hollywood Reporter. As far as the pregnancy goes, the father's identity isn't important. In Sherman-Palladino's own words, it was about the event. That doesn't exactly scratch the itch that fans have had about the father. Furthermore, the revival ends with Rory getting pregnant because Sherman-Palladino felt that it was only right for Rory to follow in Lorelai's footsteps. After all, the lyrics for the show's theme say, "Where you lead, I will follow."
I want to do this so badly. I'm exhausted.
But is there hope for the future? Sherman-Palladino hasn't ruled out a second revival. In a TV Line article, she said, "I really do believe that if the time is right and the girls are where they need to be in their lives, it could happen. Perhaps at that time, they could right the wrongs of Rory's character arc and show her rising above the challenges that the revival laid out for her."
No, I'm not going through a bad stretch.
Fans of Gilmore Girls fell in love with Rory's intelligence, her determination, and the way she's always set herself on course to be a successful journalist. She had some slip-ups in the later seasons of the show, but she always bounced back, and when we left her, she was set to be a journalist just like she dreamed. The revival disappointed fans with no career prospects and a surprise pregnancy. But perhaps someday in the future, a second revival could right the wrongs of Rory Gilmore's character arcs. There are no definites in this world, as made clear by the revival. But there's always hope.